After a week of below average temperatures, things are set to warm back up. Typical summer heat can create issues for student athletes as they make their return to the field. Tonight, as WKYT Samantha Valentino shows us, a sports medicine physician is giving some insight into how you can make sure your child is safe while they're training for their sport.
Dr. Scotty Newcomer says setting athletes up for a safe practice in warm weather begins before they step foot on the field.
So knowing what the temperature is going to be, the humidity, surface temperature, knowing all those are very important. And so planning ahead, such as it's going to be a hot day, so I want to wear light colored clothing versus dark colored clothing.
Hydration is key when you're spending a lot of time outside. Dr. Newcomer says it's important to hydrate not just during practice, but also before.
When it gets hot, you sweat profusely. You've got to have that storage of fluids there. You've got to hydrate.
Dr. Newcomer says there's no one answer as to how much you should be drinking before, during, or after a sports practice.
It really comes down to a person-to-person, athlete to athlete situation. We've had athletes that we are pre-hydrating crazy amounts of fluid, and they still cramp up.
But he says there's a simple way to tell if you're hydrating enough.
How much are you using the restroom, and what color is your urine that you're urinating? We want it to be clear or a very, very light yellow. Anything darker, you're not hydrating enough.
Dr. Newcomer says it's important to watch for signs during practice too. Things like cramping or hot skin without sweating are common signs of heat-related illnesses. In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
The KHSAA has some guidelines for practicing in warmer temperatures to keep athletes safe. As the heat index rises, more safety precautions must be taken. When the heat index is between 95 to 99 degrees, students must take 10-minute water breaks every 30 minutes. Athletes should also remove any gear when not actively involved in practice. For heat indexes between 100 and 104 degrees, it becomes a shorts and t-shirt only practice. Once the heat index goes above 104 degrees, practice must come to an end.